So you have some money lying around and you want to stake on East versus West 10. But the problem is you don't know who to place your money on. You watch one video and Devon seems kind of strong, and then you watch the next video, then Denis starts to look kind of juicy. So who do you put your money on? Don't worry, I've got the Asian guy over here to crunch the numbers for you for pure, unbiased betting statistics. We're gonna look at the numbers today and see who you should place your money on if you want to bet on East versus West 10. And who knows, you might just be laughing your way to the bank like easy money Dave Chafee. But quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. If you do actually take this video seriously, you have to seriously get your priorities in check. If you bet the house and you lose, I'm sorry, don't have a guest room for you, too bad. Now on to the video. So first of all, I want to take a look at one of the factors that I'm going to be considering, which is the overall numbers and data for East versus West. So what I mean by that is, if you're from the East, what are your chances for winning? And if you're from the West, what are your chances for winning? So to look at that, I'm just going to go over all of the past 9 East versus Wests that have happened, starting with East versus West 1. You can see over here. Some of them I did not consider, so things such as due to injury. You can see Engin over here had an injury in East versus West 1. I'm not considering that. And things where there are both opponents from East or both opponents from West, I'm not going to take that into consideration, so I've graded those out. So out of all the other matches, East won 6 matches, you can see on the left, and West won 3 matches for East versus West 1. And quickly going over East versus West 2, you can see that East won 7 of those, West won 3. So far, East has an overwhelming number more than West. Over here, East versus West 3 is the first time where we saw a 50-50 between East and West. 5 wins on each side. Moving on to East versus West number 4, back to a overwhelming victory on the Eastern front with 8 wins versus just 4 on the Western side. And this is going to be a pattern we sort of see, generally speaking. East versus 5, 6 wins for the East and 4 for the West. And then going on to 6, we see 7 wins for the East, 3 wins for the West, and a couple of injuries here and quite a lot of ones where I did not consider, because as we go further and further, we start to see that there's going to be more and more same block type of people, like same Eastern block people facing each other, or like Western block people facing each other. So those matches are not going to be considered, as I've mentioned before. East versus West 7 over here. So 6-7. We see that East, for the first time, an overwhelming sweep with 9 wins, 0 wins for the West. So pretty bad. But then when we go on to East versus West 8, starts to balance out a little bit more. East is 4 wins here and West got 2. And then moving on to number 9, the most recent one, it's the first time in history where the West has actually won an East versus West event, just based on the number of wins. 5 for West and 1 for East. So East versus West has been going on since 2021. Now it's 2023. So in these past like year and a half, 2 years, this is the very first time that West has actually won an event based on number of Western, so-called Western athletes winning versus Eastern athletes winning. So taking a look at the numbers, here's the summary. There are 123 total matches. I didn't count 38 of them because they were either East versus East or West versus West, and 3 of them ended in injuries, so I didn't count those as well. So total matches that I counted were 82, and out of those, 53 of them were won by the East and just 29 were won by the West. And then just looking a little bit more closely at the numbers, East 53 out of 82, that's 65.6% win rate, versus the West's, which was only 35.37% win rate. So just based on this number alone, you can see that East has almost a 2 times more win rate than the West. So if you were just to blindly bet your money on any person in the lineup, if they were an Eastern athlete, you would just win more than 2 times the amount of time. So if anything, just put your money on East is what the numbers is saying. But then you have to go into it on a little bit more of an individual level, and that's what I'm going to do for this next part. So looking at the athletes on an individual level, looking at their match records, taking into that, factoring that in, we get a bit more clearer of a picture of who we should actually put our money on. So first match to take a look at is Ivan versus Kamil. So both of these guys, I would consider them Eastern Bloc athletes. Ivan has 100% win rate versus Kamil has yet to be tested at East versus West. So unknown win rate from Kamil. But just because of that, both of them being from Eastern side and Ivan only being the only one with a winning record, this is something that I would call a soft bet signal for Ivan. So not a very, very convincing signal to bet on Ivan, but just based off of his own win rate in the past, he is a proven athlete. This would be a soft bet signal buy for Ivan. Next up, we have Matt Mask versus Frank from Italy. So Matt, 0% win rate, unfortunately. And also the fact that Frank, I would consider him being from the Eastern front. So Frank, just by virtue of being an Eastern athlete, he already has that 65% or so win rate going for him. And factoring into Matt Mask's 0% win rate, this is what I would call a strong bet signal for Frank Lamparelli. So if we were going to bet on this match, very strong bet signal for Frank. The next one, we have Sasho versus Artem. Similar to the first one, Artem yet to be proven in East versus West. Sasho with a 100% win rate. So this is, and both guys being from the Eastern Bloc, so that factor sort of is a moot point. This is sort of a soft buy signal for Sasho. So not super convincing, but if you were going to bet, it would be on Sasho. Fia Reisek versus Rosa Maria Acosta. This one, similarly, soft buy signal for Fia. No real data on Rosa, so not super convincing that you have to bet on Fia, but yeah, soft buy signal for Fia. And Irakli versus Rustam, both guys Eastern as well, but Irakli is the only one with a proven track record, 40% win rate, which is bad. And Rustam, even though he has no win record, the fact is he was actually arguably going to win in his match before he got injured. So, but I'm not taking into consideration injuries for this. So this is what I would call a no bet signal. This is complete coin toss, 50-50 kind of match. You should not bet on this based on the numbers because there's just zero evidence to bet on either of these guys. Moving on to our next female match, we have Sarah versus Egle. Completely opposite statistics for both of these ladies. Sarah, 100% win rate, 0% win rate for Egle. And even though Sarah is what I would consider a Western Bloc athlete and Egle is the Eastern Bloc athlete, just looking at their individual statistics, I think it outweighs that East versus West statistic, general statistic. So I would say that this is a strong buy signal for Sarah. 100% win rate over Egle's 0% win rate. Yeah, if we were to bet on this match, go with Sarah. Next up, Davit Samushia, reigning champion versus the new guy, Abdulmanaf. Similarly, very good track record by Davit Samushia, 80%. Abdulmanaf, yet to be proven. So this is somewhere I would say between a strong buy signal and a soft buy signal, somewhere between that, because Davit, even though he's reigning champion, it's still not like a 90%, 100% kind of thing. 80% win rate, plus both of these guys are from the Eastern Bloc, and yeah, so pretty strong buy signal for Davit. The numbers pretty convincing, so if you want to bet on this one, just go with Davit, but know that this is not a super strong buy signal by any means. Zaur versus Georgi. This one, same thing, pretty much a coin toss, 50% win rate from Georgi. Both of these guys from the Eastern Bloc. And yeah, I would not buy any staking blocks from these guys. This is a no bet signal. Moving on. Next up, we have John Brzenk versus Sasho Andreev. So John, unfortunately, 60% win rate versus Sasho's 100% win rate, and Sasho also being from the Eastern Bloc. The numbers say that you should bet on Sasho. I know most of you guys are probably rooting for John, but if you just want to look at the pure unbiased numbers, you have to bet on Sasho for this one, unfortunately for some of you. And next up, we have Kydyrgali Babayev versus Todd Hutchings, and this one, very strong bet signal for Kydyrgali. 100% win rate versus 60% on Todd's side, plus Kydyrgali being on the Eastern side. So you have that on top of this 100% win rate. Very, very strong bet signal to bet on Kydyrgali Babayev. And then we have the main match of the night, Devon Larratt versus Denis Cyplenkov. So this one, Denis, no information for his win-loss percentage, but Devon, we know he has a 66.67% win rate so far, but we have to consider that Devon is from the Western side. So Western side, that factor takes an athlete, lower on the buying signal, but Devon's win rate so far pushing us up above. So this is what I would call a soft buy signal for Devon Larratt, just based off of the numbers. So not super convincingly. It's probably something close to maybe 50%, but ever so slightly tipping towards the side of Devon Larratt. So if you were to bet on this match just based on the numbers alone, you should go with Devon Larratt just based on the numbers alone. So now that you've seen the numbers don't lie. Maybe. Who will you place your bets on? What are your predictions for East versus West 10? Let me know in the comment section. And please, once more, don't bet the house on this. I'm not a professional, just here to have fun, enjoying the matches. See you guys at East versus West 10.